representing Europe, Justin Rose.
Once you've played in the Ryder Cup, you never want to miss another one. It's a huge honour to be asked to sort of sit in that role.
Absolutely extraordinary.
You feel like you're really in it together.
What a day for Europe.
All the guys playing the Ryder Cup, they're all great players. They all have their own processes. They all have their own ways of dealing with pressure.
Remarkable from Justin Rose. He seizes the moment.
It kind of puts me under pressure to be the best version of myself. I think when you realise what it's like to win one, you now look back and realise winning as a team is just an incredibly special feeling.
Welcome to the Belfry, everyone, in Sutton Coldfield, England. Today we begin coverage of the '89 Ryder Cup matches.
I was very aware of the Ryder Cup growing up. It was probably one of the first golf tournaments I actually ever went to watch. I was 9 years old. Went to the Belfry. At that age, I was just staggered at how big the event was and how cool and colourful and huge the golf bags were, and the red versus blue, two teams patriotically kind of going against each other. And from that moment on, obviously, was always a huge fan of it. And I guess even at that age 9, I kind of was already, in my mind, pursuing a golf career. It was my passion, it was my love, so it would have definitely set the wheels in motion for me for wanting to be a Ryder Cup player in the future.
Downhill champion, Justin Rose.
2002 Nashua Masters champion, Justin Rose.
Felt like I kind of was somewhat in the conversation maybe as far back as like 2002 when I had a good season and sort of won a few times on the European Tour, but obviously that felt a little bit too soon for me. But then I started to play well again, emerged back into the top 50 in the world and had a great season in 2007.
Nothing straightforward under pressure. Rose overjoyed, and the victor?
And found an armour.
You know, won the Order of Merit in Europe, which I guess kind of propelled me into the Ryder Cup team.
As Governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, it's my honor to welcome each and every one of you to the 37th Ryder Cup, right here at Valhalla Golf Club.
The thing that struck me is that you arrive on the course so early that day and you're already hearing the crowd, you know, around the first tee, you're already beginning to chant and sing, and kind of the anticipation just builds and builds and builds. While you're on the range, you can kind of hear the first tee, so it looms pretty large in your mind.
First on the tee, representing Europe, Justin Rose.
Getting the ball on the tee peg is the first challenge, and I was like, okay, I did that, that's fine. And I was able to hit the ball in the fairway. But it definitely gets your attention. You've got to suck in some air and take a few deep breaths and hope for the best. It was cool to have Nick Felder as the captain, obviously being a fellow Englishman. He was obviously one of my golfing idols growing up, and you know, I established a great partnership with Ian Poulter, who'd become a great friend of mine through the years. I was able to win my singles match.
Looking pretty good. Is it going to get there? And that's it. Rose wins his point against Mickelson.
4-2. Rose never looked like he was going to be beaten today.
Even though Europe were on the end of a pretty good drubbing that week, it still felt to me like a very positive and powerful experience.
He's conceded it, and America have got the cup back.
I kind of came away thinking, okay, the Ryder Cup is something I can do, and I got a taste for it, and I wanted more of it.
Good morning from Medinah, an absolutely palpable air of anticipation. The Ryder Cup, it's all about team competition, and it's utterly compelling.
No doubt the first 2 days of Medinah were ferociously difficult, and at times there was no coming back from that. Halfway through Saturday, we were all but done. It was 10-4, 2 tight matches out on the golf course. That was looking bleak, but then there was just that moment of magic. You know, I think it was Poults and McIlroy and Sergio and Luke still out on the golf course, and they kind of hit some great shots at the death, and Poults holed some putts.
What a putt from Poulter! Oh, I love him!
The joy on the faces of the Europeans once he holed that putt. Maybe will give them the belief tomorrow that they can actually still win this.
Suddenly it was 10-6. You know, wait a minute. And I think then when the pairings came out, suddenly when you see it in black and white, you're like, okay, he can beat him. Yeah, he can beat him. Yeah. Suddenly you're like, okay, well, so you're saying there's a chance, you know what I mean?
The singles to come at the Medinah Country Club will determine the outcome of this Ryder Cup.
My match was back and forth, and it was glaringly obvious. There was blue, and I was a bit of red, and it was like really glaring. That piece of red was quite glaring. I was like, I'm not doing my job, kind of like, you know, and that really pushed me. I think, you know, when you're playing Phil, you just got to expect anything to happen, and I didn't quite know what was going to happen towards the end of the match, but I think I just had to fight as hard as I could.
What a golf shot from Phil Mickelson. Fantastic. He loves it too.
16, I had basically a hole of putt, 10-footer, just to stay in the game. I'm one down, and I got a putt for a half. You know, a hole in, I kind of let out just a really ferocious roar.
Come on!
I remember having a little bit of a conversation with myself, and I kind of realized that it would be easy to settle for a half. You know, 1 down, 2 to play. Come on, maybe you can get a half out of this match. That'd be great. I was like, no, come on. You know, you got to win this match. You got to win this match. And then Phil, being Phil, hit his chip shot, and as it's rolling towards the hole, I'm like, oh, he's made it, you know, but just missed.
Oh! He had the audacity to take the flag out. That's how confident he was.
That set the stage for me to kind of sort of really survey this putt. I remember probably taking an abnormally long time to hit it.
Justin, he's got a putt to win the hole. This is huge for him.
I just remember kind of running it over and over and over in my head, like, what if it starts there? What if it starts there? What if it starts there?
Well, that wasn't too bad, was it? Ho, 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 ho! They ain't celebrating so much now. What a match! All square in the last tee. Can you believe that?
Part of me wanted to just jump and cannonball into the lake and enjoy the moment, but I knew I was only all square. That putt only meant something if I was to go on and play the 18th hole well. His putt was just inside mine, and let's say I was 12 feet, he was 9 feet, and we're all square. So essentially I'm 1 shot better than him, but it comes down to the putter. The previous night, obviously, Poltz and Luke had done such a great job, and I'd seen Poltz holding these putts and really like kind of letting out his emotion at the end of a match, and I thought, right, this is my moment. And get up there, wrap a beautiful putt, look up, and it's just tracking, and it goes in the middle. And I know that Rory and Darren Clark are kind of on the front edge of the green behind me, and as it goes in, I kind of turn to really like celebrate the moment with them. And Phil had obviously been sneaking in behind me to try to get the read, you know, to see how the putt's rolling. And as I turn, kind of Phil's like right here. So I cut my celebration short out of respect to him, because obviously we did have a great match.
Possibly 2 of the finest putts Justin Rose has ever hit in his life in the last half an hour. And with those 2 putts, he gains a fantastic victory over Phil Mickelson.
A win for Rose. It's 11-all.
From that point on, you're now just hoping that it's not in vain. You know, that the boys can find that little bit of, you know, extra points that we need and a little bit of magic that we need. It were just like these moments out there that just felt like, okay, there's something a little bit mystical going on here. And also, Jose Maria Lothabal just wanted it so badly for Sevi that it just made you want it so much for him. Probably the toughest 2 hours or 3 hours of my life watching. Me and Polter in the 18th fairway, we've kind of hung back with Jose, who kind of just is having a hard time watching or composing himself. But obviously Martin Keimer is now up on the 18th green, and it's the moment. You realise you're nervous playing, but it's way harder watching.
This to retain the Ryder Cup.
And hold it.
Europe, wait to take the cup home. Hello. What a comeback from Europe. Oh my goodness gracious me.
And you know, Poltz and I were in the fairway, and I think we're able to kind of share that moment with Jose quite soon after Martin holed the putt, which was incredibly special.
Europe
mounted the greatest comeback in Ryder Cup history.
Popping champagne with those lads after such an incredible comeback was the most fun I've ever had.
There is nothing quite like Friday morning and the first tee at the Ryder Cup.
The great thing about the Rome team was, I think, it was a slight changing of the guard as well. I was worried about the European Ryder Cup team in 2021, Whistling Straits. I thought, oh, you know, we could be on a 5-10 year kind of tricky spell here, and then all of a sudden we've had just some talent come through in, you know, the Højgaard boys and Ludwig Aberg and obviously Bob and others. So suddenly I'm like, oh, this future's bright, you know, and I think that happened in Rome.
Representing Europe, Robert McIntyre and Justin Rose.
Bob was in my pod for sure. I played all my practice rounds with him. It became apparent we were being lined up for something. The first day kind of has given me one of the most special moments in my career. You know, the last part I had on that opening Friday.
This to tie the match.
Just extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. What a day for Europe. Wow.
To be able to kind of squeeze a half out of that match, which a well-deserved half because we fought so hard that day. And obviously to not let America have any red on the board was awesome. And I think that really helped Bob and I kind of go into Saturday a lot freer, a lot more confident. And, you know, again, we played Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas, who beating those guys is always a lot of fun because they're tenacious, they're tough, they've got great records.
Remarkable from Justin Rose. He seizes the moment. The European team moved to 10.5 and within 4 points of winning the Ryder Cup.
From my point of view, that was a really positive and powerful experience and a great pairing.
The winners of the 2023 Ryder Cup Team.
Once you've played in the Ryder Cup, you never want to miss another one. Ryder Cups played a huge part in my career, loved every minute of it. I'm fulfilling childhood dreams. They've given me moments I'll look back on when I'm grey and old, so that's worth more than money titles and worth more than the checks you get for winning tournaments. It's those memories that you can't replace.
To watch another Ryder Cup video, click here and subscribe here.